Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of e.l.f. makeup. I have used these products already for a TikTok video, but I wanted to do a more in-depth video on YouTube about them, just because I feel like e.l.f. is a very slept-on brand, specifically in the UK. I know e.l.f. is quite big in the US, but over here in the UK, they're actually not that popular of a brand, I would say personally. And I don't know many people that use e.l.f. to this extent. But I've basically got a whole load of products here that I'm going to use to do my whole face with. So if you were interested in the brand e.l.f. and you wanted to know a little bit more about them, or how the products work, or any of their viral products such as the Power Grip Primer, the Putty Bronzer and the Putty Blush, and also this bad boy, you want to know how to achieve this makeup look, all you've got to do is keep on watching. Just to get the ball rolling with the video initially, I have already used my Pear soap to do my soap brow effect, and I have prepped my lid with my NARS concealer. I haven't prepped my lid using the concealer that I've got from e.l.f. just because I find that this NARS concealer is a really good base for eyeshadow, and it's just not something that I tend to do. I don't tend to use like thicker liquidy concealers for an eye base. So the first product from e.l.f. that we were going in with is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I have got this in the shade, it doesn't say the shade on the pencil anymore, but I believe this is the shade Soft Brown. This is what it looks like. It's got the spoolie at the end, very similar setup to a lot of these micro brow pencils. I have already tested a lot of this e.l.f. makeup, so I already have my thoughts on it, which I feel like will give me a bit of a better advantage whilst filming this video, because obviously I can actually give you my true opinion on what I actually think of these e.l.f. products, which I much prefer than basically like a first impressions video. I'd rather have like an informed opinion from someone who's used the products and knows whether or not they're any good and if they actually like them. Literally just feathering this through my brows, just to fill in any sparse areas, as I would normally with my normal NYX brow pencil. Run the spoolie through just to reposition those brow hairs, because some of them have moved just from where I've obviously put the brow pencil in. But I barely use any brow pencil through my brows anyway, just because I feel like the soap brow technique does give me a very good like brow, full brow anyway. But obviously I always draw a few in right at the front just because I feel like I need it, so that's what I do. And it's very subtle, this brow pencil is, and I do find that I have to warm it up quite a bit on the back of my hand to actually get any pigment out of it. I will say it's not my favourite brow pencil, but you can see it is definitely working. It is definitely there. You can definitely see it. If you're like me, you don't really need a lot of brow pencil through your brows, like for example, because you do like a soap brow effect like I do. It's absolutely fine for that, and I think it works really well. But I do think my NYX brow pencil is slightly better than this. I probably will use this again, so that's all that I'm bothered about really. As long as I'm going to use the product again, that's normally what my main concern is when I buy makeup. I don't want to buy something that I don't like and just never use it again. But it's not my favourite pencil. The NYX one is definitely a little bit finer and a little bit more creamier, and you can actually like see it with like an instant brow stroke, if that makes sense. So moving on to the e.l.f. Cookies and Dream No Budge eyeshadow stick. So obviously, like I said, I've already tried all of these products. This is a really nice creamy creamy eye pencil. But the only thing that I'm not a big fan of with this is the fact that it's got like a slight glitter running through it, which it doesn't say on the actual product. If you are thinking of buying this, just bear that in mind, that it does actually have a very subtle glitter through it. So I'm just gonna colour this all over my lash line, because I did initially buy this for this purpose and to just blend it out and have like an instant smoky eye and be done there and then. I'm just gonna rub it all over my lash line, and then I'm just gonna buff over it slightly with this shader brush, just because I just want to diffuse it slightly and just have that nice clean blend. It's definitely very creamy, and I like the fact that although it says it's a no budge pencil, I like the fact that you do actually have some time to work with the product, because no budge would suggest that you would draw it on and then it would just not move, but that's not the case. It's definitely a nice movable product, which is something that I really enjoy in like a crayon type of shadow stick, so that is a positive for me. I do wish the colour brown was slightly warmer, because it is quite a cool brown, but obviously that's something you like, then that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to put a little bit more on this side, just on the outer edge, just to give me a bit more definition. That didn't have the glitter in it, that would be a 10 out of 10 product for me. But that little hint of glitter just shears the product out a little bit more than I'd like it to. So what I am going to do, this is a bit of a cheat, and I'm sorry, I know this is a full face of e.l.f. makeup, but I'm literally just going to go in with a bit of my bronzer, and I'm just going to dust it through the crease just to like make a nice gradient effect between the crayon and the bronzer, basically, just to make it look a bit more blended. That was literally like a 5-minute smoky eye. So if you're a beginner and you're getting into smoky eyes, blend it out with a fluffy brush and it's foolproof. So that's something that I really appreciate with a product, when it's easy to use. When I was shopping on the e.l.f. website for all of this makeup, they did have some mascaras, but they were a little bit pricier than what I like to pay. I don't think you have to spend a lot of money to get a good mascara. For example, the one that I'm using is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I've barked on about this so many times on my channel, so I'm not going to bore you all with the ins and outs of why I like this mascara. Bottom line is, it's £4 and it gets the job done, and that's what's important with the mascara. I'm going to move on to the base products. Now, this is where this video is going to get really, really good. The e.l.f. base products are absolutely flawless. I love every single one of these base products. There is nothing that I've struggled to find faults for them. So I'm going to start with the Power Grip Primer. Now, this is a direct dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. This is identical. It's exactly the same texture. The formula is almost identical. It's sticky, it's the same colour, it smells the same. Like, it is exactly the same. So if you're someone who really likes that sort of sticky kind of primer, and you've seen everyone talking about the Hydro Grip one from Milk and you can't afford it, look no further, guys, because this e.l.f. What's it actually called? Power Grip Primer is exactly the same. It gives you that lovely sticky feeling. Your foundation will stick instantly to this if you're someone who really struggles to keep your foundation in place all day. Next, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Camo CC cream in the shade Light 210. Barked on about this on my YouTube channel as well, and for good reason. If you buy anything from this video that I've used, it should be this, because I'm telling you now, this stuff is absolutely amazing. I fucking love it. I can't get over how good it is. It shocks me that this is actually a drugstore product. Like, it's so similar to the IT Cosmetics one, and I was a die-hard fan of the IT Cosmetics one, but now that I've tried this e.l.f. one, I can't go back to it, because I can't justify paying that price when I can literally get it for this price and it's basically exactly the same. I actually think it's a bit better. I'm going to blend that out with this e.l.f. sponge. This is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, I want to say. I don't really use sponges anymore. I feel like they soak up a lot of my product, and I just feel like I don't get through products as quickly when I use brushes as opposed to using sponges. But I will say, going back to using a sponge just for the sake of this video, and the one that I've already done on TikTok, if you've not already seen that, it definitely is a lot quicker. So if you're someone who has to do their makeup in a rush, I'd highly recommend this sponge, because it is massive and it covers so much of your face in like one application that it literally gets the product on there in like 5 seconds. So maybe you've got like maybe you're a mom, or you're someone who doesn't have much time to get ready in the mornings, or whenever it is you're getting ready, or you're just at last minute Linda like I am, this sponge is huge and it gets the job done really quickly. So that's my e.l.f. Camo cream on. Like, it just gives the nicest finish. Like, I'm looking up close, and obviously apart from where my blemishes are, which are unavoidable, it just looks so nice, and it doesn't hide my freckles either. Like, you can still see all of my freckles through it, which I really like. But it's definitely such a good medium borderline full coverage, and that's something I really like in a foundation or just a base product in general. I can't like bark on anymore about how much I like that foundation. It's just so good. Next, we're going to go in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have already tried this as well. I really like this too. I've just really struggled to find my shade in it, but I've finally found a shade that I can work with now. I still feel like it's a little bit light for me, but I can definitely work with it, so I'm going to. I've tried the normal version of this as well, but it's far too drying for me. So I much prefer this hydrating version. I have very, very dry skin, so anything that's going to be hydrating is exactly what I need. Don't really like sponges, but this one is definitely good because it's massive and it gets the job done. The only thing is I find it a little bit hard to get it very like sharp and precise under my eye, just because it is such a big sponge. But I can still do it, like it's still fine to use to do that, but I do find it a little bit clumsy. It still gives a really nice finish, so I can look past that. Okie doke, so that's our concealer on. Lovely, looking flawless at the moment. Everything's just so natural and dewy looking, and that's what I really like about all of these products. So next I'm just going in with the e.l.f. matte setting powder. This is in the shade Light, and I'm just going to set my under eyes before I go in with my next product. So I have to do this, otherwise my eyes just crease too much. So I'm just going in with this first, just to mattify that. Powders tend to make my under eyes look really dry. The only powder I can really get on with is the Laura Mercier one and the Charlotte Tilbury one. But a lot of these sort of cheaper powders really do make my under eyes look dry and crusty. But that one doesn't, and that really shocks me. So that is definitely a really good thing. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. This is in the shade Tan Lines. When I tell you I am obsessed with this. If you were looking for a Chanel cream bronzer dupe, look no further. This is literally the closest thing I've ever tried to the Chanel cream bronzer, and this blends like a dream as well. You don't even have to put any effort into blending this out. You literally just need to buff it onto the highest point of your cheekbone and just let it just do the work. It literally just melts into the skin, and that is something that I appreciate in a product, because I don't want to be there blending it out for ages. I haven't got time to do that in the morning. It's not something that I really want to spend loads of time doing. I just want it to be on my face. Such a good product for that. It just blends in so well. Like, it melts into the skin, and it's almost exactly the same texture as the Chanel cream bronzer. I thought this was going to be really, really dark for me when it came, because it looks very dark in the pan. But it's actually not at all. It's a really, really good colour. And it's very similar to the Chanel one. Like, I actually would say this is a slightly more natural looking colour. The Chanel one is quite orangey. Like, it can look quite orangey on the skin if you use a little bit too much of it. But this one, I feel like it looks much more of like a natural tan colour. So I am a massive, massive fan of that. I'm going to do a direct comparison video to the Chanel cream bronzer and the e.l.f. bronzer, because I feel like if it's just as good as the Chanel bronzer, then us honeys need to save our money, and it needs to be known. Oh God, I just absolutely love it. It's so seamless and so like natural and pretty. The best product ever. Moving on from that, I'm going to be using the Putty blush. This is in the shade Turks and Caicos. I did buy this in a Superdrug haul that's on my channel, but I've never used it. I've just literally had it swatched it and then didn't use it until the other day. I'm obsessed with this as well. The same as that bronzer. You can literally just buff it straight onto the cheek and it does the job for you. Like, it literally does the work for you. Blends straight in, no messing, no faffing, just in and it's on, and it's literally so natural looking. Oh God, I'm obsessed. I really, really like the Made by Mitchell blush, the liquid blush from him, but I'm not joking. I actually prefer this, because I'll tell you why, because this is so much easier to blend in, and it's just on your face and it's done. It just melts into the skin, doesn't disturb the foundation underneath, doesn't mess with anything, make anything look funny. Putty range from e.l.f. is just the best. Like, the products are amazing. So moving on from that, we're going in with the jelly highlighter in the shade Cloud. I've never used a highlighter like this before. I don't really use highlighter much, to be honest, but the consistency of this is mental. It actually is like jelly. I'm going to apply this with my finger, because I do feel like if I applied it with a brush, it probably will disturb the foundation underneath. So I am just going to put it on the highest point of my cheekbone, and it's blinding. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. Such a natural glow. and it just doesn't look too like shiny or metallic, and it could pass for being a natural like sun-kissed kind of glowy highlight, and that's what I want. I don't really wear highlighter much anymore. It's not something that, it's just not my journey anymore. I think a lot of people have grown out of highlighter, but this is absolutely stunning. I love it. So dewy, like, and it's literally so easy to apply as well. Like, just whack it on with your finger and you're done, and it's barely even there, and that's what I like. Literally 10 out of 10. So next I'm going in with the Love Triangle lip filler liner. That is a very, very big mouthful. So this is in the shade light brown, and I thought this was going to be too dark for me at first, but it's not. It's actually a really good colour, and it's in this like little teardrop shape. Obviously I have already used this, so it's not as sharp as it was when I first bought it, and I do really like this. I really like the colour, and I really like the texture, and the actual shape of the lip liner is really good for the Cupid's bow, like to get that initial shape. The like shape part, it just goes blunt and it's not in the right shape anymore, so I don't know how like useful that's going to be once you've used this a few times. I also find like doing the bottom lip is a little bit more like difficult than it would be with something that just had like a sharp point. But the actual product itself is really creamy, and it's a lovely colour, and it does go on very easy. So I actually quite like that too. Like I said, it's just, I'm not a massive fan of the shade. I'm gonna go in with this Elf sheer lipstick. This is in the shade Golden Pear. So I bought this because I'm really into like glossy sort of lip balm effect lips at the moment, and I don't know why I bought this shade, to be honest, because it doesn't suit me, but the actual product itself is a really, really nice product. It's so creamy and sheer and hydrating. I had this on the other day, and then at the end of the day my lips were really, really soft. I'm going to get it in another shade, just because I don't think this shade suits me. That is a beautiful lipstick formula. It is so nice. It's really, really moisturising, and it's still got quite a lot of pigment to it as well. If you like those sort of sheer lipstick formulas, you'd really, really like this. Final e.l.f. product. This is the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. I've seen a few YouTubers talking about this. I think Manny MUA was talking about this before. It says it's up to 16-hour wear, and the mister on this is beautiful. So I'll show you the mister before I actually spray it on. It's such a nice mist. Like, it is a really, really nice fine spray. I'm going to put it on and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. That's all the makeup on. The only thing that I don't like about this spray is the fragrance. It smells like baby powder, and it's just it's just like way too fragrant for me, and I can't see myself using it because I'm just someone who's quite sensitive to fragrance. I have very sensitive skin, and I can sort of feel it just tingling a little bit on my face, so I'm not the biggest fan of this scent, but I can definitely feel it sticking down. I can feel it drying down. It makes me think that it's going to stay all day. So it is a very nice mister, and I think the actual product itself is nice, but if you don't like fragrance, you won't like this because it is very, very strong. That's all of the products that I've got from e.l.f. I have to say, I don't know why I've slept on e.l.f. for so long, because their products are so good, and the base products are just absolutely 10/10. This in particular shocks me that this is a drugstore product. Same with the blush and the bronzer, because they perform like high-end products, and it's just proof really. It's quality over quantity. Like, just because a certain product is more money, that doesn't mean it's going to be a really good product, because these are some of the best cream face products I've ever used, and I say that with my chest. If you're someone who really, really likes cream products, or you're trying to get into cream products, I would look no further than e.l.f. The products are really, really affordable, and they're really good, and e.l.f. is completely cruelty-free and vegan. Obviously something that I'm trying to move towards, but literally there's not a product here that I wouldn't recommend. The only things that I'm not 100% on are the eyebrow pencil, the scent of the setting spray, and I'm not the biggest fan of the eye crayon. That's just my own personal preference though. That's going to be the end of the video. I'll link every single product that I've used below. I hope this was helpful. If you've got any feedback, or you want to leave a comment or whatever, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that, and I'm hoping to see you in my next video. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.